Welcome to Project Healthy Schools. This is Lesson 6, Rainbow of Color. Lesson objectives for Lesson 6 are: students will be able to understand that a variety of fruits and vegetables provide health benefits, identify the roles of various vitamins and minerals within the body, and assemble a salad that provides a variety of vitamins and minerals. Vocabulary for this lesson: micronutrients, phytochemicals, potassium, and iron.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Project Healthy Schools. This is Lesson 6 called Rainbow of Color. Before we move on with Lesson 6, let's talk a little bit about what we talked about in Lesson 5. We talked about the heart and we learned that the heart is a muscle. We talked about heart rate and our pulse and how to find those things. And most importantly, we found that exercise raised our heart rate. And we talked about how important that is to help strengthen our heart and give us a healthier heart for the rest of our life. So as we continue forward into Lesson 6, we're also going to circle back to Lesson 4 where we talked about My Plate. So let's think back about what we talked about My Plate and think back to the different food groups that we talked about wanting to get a certain amount of food from. Who can remember what percentage of our food should be coming from fruits and vegetables? Well, let's take a look at the diagram again. So about 50%, as you can see, makes up our daily recommendation for fruits and vegetables. And why is it important to eat fruits and vegetables? Well, they're good for our body, they make us strong, and they contain micronutrients like vitamins and minerals. So do you guys remember our discussion about micronutrients? We talked about, our macronutrients being the big things like protein, carbohydrates, and fats, but micronutrients are the smaller things that are very, very important to our body, and these are the things we get from fruits and vegetables. So the definition of a micronutrient is nutrients required in smaller amounts by the body. Vitamins and minerals are both classified as micronutrients. So consuming a variety of vitamins and minerals through the foods you eat is essential for the body's function in an optimal state. Your body is incapable of making some of the vitamins and minerals you need, and therefore you need to get it from your food. So a good example of this is vitamin C. I think that's one that is pretty familiar to all of us. We need vitamin C because we know that it boosts our immune system, and we think about during cold season or sometimes during the year where we want to get lots of vitamin C to keep ourselves from getting sick. Well, our body doesn't naturally make vitamin C. We need to get it from outside, and there's a lot of foods, and a lot of those foods are fruits and vegetables where we get that vitamin C into our body. Our next vocab word is phytochemicals. Has anybody heard of a phytochemical? Well, you can always kind of find a rough idea of what a word means by looking at the parts of the word. Phyto means plant. So if you split the word up and phyto means plant and then you add chemical to it, it gives us kind of an idea. So the definition of a phytochemicals are little chemical substances found in plants that help protect our bodies from disease. So there are thousands of different phytochemicals, and the only way to get them is by eating a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grain nuts, and beans. One piece of fruit may contain up to 900 different phytochemicals. We're going to be focused a lot today on the color of our fruits and vegetables and how the different colors actually tell us, some of the different nutrients that they have. Usually the deeper, the darker the color of a food or a fruit or a vegetable means that they contain more phytochemicals. So we're going to move into an activity now. So for this activity, you need the vitamins and minerals chart, which looks like this. Go ahead and get that in front of you and get ready to do this activity. Now, as you get there, you'll see something that looks like this. You're going to have some things filled in and some things blank. So what I want you to do is pause the video, and I want you to either work on it alone, or if you have a family member or someone with you, try to go through and fill out your ideas of some things that fit into these blanks. And when you come back, we're going to go over them. All right, hopefully you had a good time filling out your chart. I'm going to go through some other examples. Now, just because your answers don't match mine, they're not necessarily wrong. Some of the answers I have are maybe some things that we're just trying to show you that are outside of maybe what we normally think of. For example, when we talk about this first one, what kind of a fruit or vegetable do you normally think of when you think of vitamin C? Well, I'm going to guess you're thinking of oranges and orange juice. I think those are That's one of the most common sources of vitamin C that we think of. But even a vegetable like a red bell pepper has a lot of vitamin C in it. All right, and the function of vitamin C is to help us, we think of our immune system and keeping us from getting sick, but it also helps us heal when we already are sick, or if we have a wound or a scratch or something like that. It helps our body heal faster. So that's an example of what vitamin C does and a source that vitamin C comes from. The next one, something that's a source of potassium. A banana is a great source of potassium. Other sources of potassium are like dried fruits, raisins and dates and things like that. Now, what does potassium do for our body? Well, it helps with muscle contractions. And a lot of times we think about this after it's too late when we get a muscle cramp. Usually that's because we're maybe dehydrated, but that's because our balance of electrolytes is off and we need potassium to balance out the sodium in our bodies. A banana is a great way to get some potassium. Let's talk about this one, all right? Carrots. Well, carrots are a great source of vitamin A. Vitamin A is really important for our eyes. So vitamin A, one of the major functions, it's really going to help your eyesight. And carrots are a very, very good source of vitamin A. Now, the last one, talk about the iron. Now, we've probably heard of iron. Iron is a mineral that's in our body, and it makes us strong. It helps us build muscle, and it keeps us healthy. And one of the best vegetables for iron is spinach. Has anybody heard of Popeye? Popeye the Sailor Man. As you can see, Popeye loves his spinach. And that's a great source of iron. There's a lot of other sources for iron, but remember, we're focusing on our fruits and vegetables today. So these are just examples, but there are other things that provide these micronutrients as well. So this is a good time in the lesson to take a little bit of a brain break. Today for our brain break, I'm going to send you back over to Allie B, who's one of our fitness experts at Project Healthy Schools.
Hi everyone, it's Allie B. For today's brain break, I want to work us through the move called Bird Dog. This is another yoga move, and it's really going to engage your core and work on your balance. So we're going to start on all fours in tabletop position. Again, our hands are underneath our shoulders, our knees are underneath our hips. And then when I inhale, I'm going to extend my right arm up and my left leg back. When I exhale, I'm going to bring those back to center. Let me show you. So again, we're in the tabletop position. My wrists are underneath my shoulders, knees under my hips. And now I'm going to inhale and extend my right arm out and my left foot back. I'm going to flex my foot. You can't see it in the video, I'm sorry, but my foot is flexed. And then I'm going to exhale and bring those back to center. Then I'm going to switch to the other side. Again, I'm engaging my core as I inhale. Lift my left hand up. My right foot is extending back. And then I exhale, bring them back to center. Now, when you do bird dog, make sure that you're balanced, and that means that you're going to do the same amount on both sides. So if I do 3 on my right side, then I'm going to also do 3 on my left. So again, I'm going to inhale, extend my right arm, extend my left foot, keep a strong engaged core, exhale, come back to center. Left arm goes up as I inhale, right foot goes back, exhale to center. Now, a challenge is if you can extend your left arm and your right foot at the same time. That's really going to require a lot of balance, so you really have to focus on that core engagement and make sure that lower back doesn't dip too much when you're doing that. You want to keep it nice and strong, nice flat tabletop back. So we're going to try that. Let's do an inhale. We're going to extend both, reach through your fingers, extend through your lower foot. Exhale back to center. Other side, we're going to do right foot or left foot, right hand, and return to center. So go through that move a little bit today. Again, really think about your breathing and make sure that you're balanced on both sides and don't have your lower back dip too much. Do this with a friend and see who can hold it the longest. All right? Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Great job on that brain break. Hopefully your heart rate went up, you got a little bit more blood flowing, and now your brain is ready to keep going. Now the rest of our lesson is going to be really fun, but thinking back on the chart that we just used, the key is variety. Notice we had 4 different fruits and vegetables that had 4 different really important micronutrients or phytochemicals that had 4 different very important functions in our body that it supported. So that's the key. Now, we're focused on color when we talk about variety today, because with fruits and vegetables, they have a variety of colors, and a lot of them are really bright, and sometimes the colors are good keys to what those things contain. The colors we really want to focus on that are usually the highest and really important vitamins and micronutrients are red, orange, and green. But we also have our like blues and yellows from things like blueberries, or we have yellow peppers or bananas and things like that. So all colors are good, and the more variety of color that we can get into our diet usually means that we're covering all of our bases as far as vitamins and minerals go. So we're going to move forward now. I'm going to show you how to make a really cool, super bright, colorful rainbow salad. So we're going to head over and do that right now.
Please remember to wash your hands before handling or preparing food.
So like I said, we're going to go through and make a salad today. I'm going to give you an example of a good salad recipe that has a lot of different color in it, which provides a lot of different micronutrients, phytochemicals. Now you don't have to make this exact salad. This is the salad recipe we use when we go into the schools, and when your teacher teaches this in person, this is the same recipe that we would use. Now you don't, like I said, you don't necessarily have to have this stuff, but what we're going to use today is we have spinach, as we talked about, lots of iron in spinach, and this actually has some kale in it too, which is really healthy as well. I have some red peppers. I'm going to use a lemon. I'm actually going to use the lemon for our dressing. I have an apple, and then I have some baby carrots here that I'm actually going to chop up. All right. I also have some dried fruit, as we talked about, great sources of potassium. So I have some dried cranberries here, and I have some dried golden raisins. Now, just regular raisins would work, or any other kind of dried fruit would be great. Once again, these are just great ideas. We're also going to add some seeds to this. Seeds we didn't really talk about much, but seeds have a lot of healthy fat in them. Not all fat's bad. Some fat is very important to our health. It has some healthy fat. It also is high in potassium and iron as well. And we're also going to use to make a really healthy natural dressing, we're going to use some olive oil and some honey. Now, besides those are our raw materials, we're going to use a big plastic bag to mix our salad in. And we need a small dish that we're going to make our dressing in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and chop these things up. Now, please have an adult chop this for you, or at least supervise you doing it, because chopping can be dangerous if we're not careful. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chop up the apple, and the red peppers and the carrots, and then I'm going to get right back. Okay, now that all of our ingredients are ready, we're ready to start mixing them together. All right, so like I said, we're going to use a 1 gallon plastic bag for this, but you could obviously do this in a bowl if you wanted to. So the first thing you want to add is the spinach. So we're going to add the spinach to the bag first. And I think the plastic bag is just kind of a great way to get this mix, especially once we get this dressing in, because we're going to want to get the dressing to cover all of it. So let's get all of our spinach in the bag. And hopefully you notice the rainbow of colors that we have going on here. So we have the green spinach, we're going to have orange, we have red, we have the apple, and we have some other colors. All right, now it doesn't really matter what order, but we're gonna add all of these things in. All right, so I'm going to add in my carrots, my vitamin A, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my red peppers. Go ahead and put those in the bag as well. All right, and then I'm gonna put my apples in. So I have my apples, my red peppers, and my carrots. Now we kind of can add this kind of depending on how much we like each of these items. Notice my piles were pretty close to the same, so I have about equal amounts of those things. All right, so now that's our fruits and vegetables. Well, most of our fruits and vegetables. We also have our dried fruits. So we have our cranberries and we have our golden raisins. Remember, great sources of potassium. So I'm going to go ahead and just add those in. And then of course we have the sunflower seeds left. So we're going to add the sunflower seeds into that same bag. All right, once all of those ingredients are in the bag, let's go ahead and get this mixed up. So you want to seal the bag up, right? We'll just really give it a good mix. You know, shake it around, move it around. We want to get all those ingredients mixed in there with the spinach. So we'll go ahead and get that mixed really well. And we're gonna do some more mixing here in a second once we make our dressing. Now, this dressing is very simple, but it's also very good. All right, so we're gonna use honey, olive oil, and a lemon. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna add is the olive oil. It's about 2 tablespoons. I don't have a measuring cup on me right now, but if you do, I would recommend using that. So I would say for this portion, I would use about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'll call that 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Right, and it does depend on how much salad you have. You can always add more if you want. Now, for 1 tablespoon of this, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of honey. So so about half the amount of honey compared to olive oil is what we're going for on this dressing. So, honey's a good sweetener, but it is also very high in sugar, and it does count as sugar. So we don't want to have too much of it, but it's a pretty healthy alternative. All right, so we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of honey. All right, and then we're going to squeeze 1 lemon into there. Now there's a lot of ways to do this. You might have a lemon squeezer. I'm just going to use my hands to squeeze the juice out of 2 lemons. All right, you might need to have someone help, but you really give it a good squeeze. And I'm sorry, not 2 lemons. We're just using 1 lemon, but we're using 1 of each half. I'm going to squeeze that in. All right, once we get that done, we're going to want to mix it up. So we need to grab ourselves a spoon or something to mix with. We're going to give it a good mix. We want to get that olive oil and honey and lemon juice all mixed together. Doesn't take very long. Once you do, we're going to add this to the bag. So now we are ready to add our dressing to the bag. So I'm going to open my bag up and I'm just going to dump the dressing right in there. And once again, I'm going to seal the bag up. And I'm going to mix it really well. I want to get all of that dressing kind of coated around all the materials in the bag. So I'm going to get it going here. All right, once our salad is mixed up, it is ready to eat. So you can either serve it for yourself and save some for later, or serve it to a couple people. But notice as we go ahead and get ourselves served up here, how much color is in this salad. And we have a great dressing on it now. Notice all the colors that we have as we have mixed this rainbow of color into this salad, which tells us there is a lot of micronutrients and phytochemicals here. Let's take a look. So the final step is the best step. We're going to enjoy our salad. So hopefully you enjoyed that demonstration and it gave you some ideas on some rainbow of color salads that you can make at your house. So I'm really encouraging you to go ahead and do that. Look around what you have in the house, and you may not even need to buy anything extra to do something similar. To finish up the lesson, let's quickly go over our 2 vocab words again. Remember, we talked about a micronutrient and a phytochemical, which are the 2 main things that we get from eating fruits and vegetables. Now remember, a micronutrient is just something that we need in small amounts that kind of keeps our body functioning in its optimal state. Okay, a phytochemical is actually a chemical that is contained in plants that really helps our immune system and helps us fight off disease. The benefits of eating fruits and vegetables. So what are some benefits of eating those things? Well, they improve our immune system. They help build a stronger muscular development. They improve your vision, maintain healthy blood pressure, reduces your risk of developing heart disease and or stroke, reduces the risk for chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes. So what is the main message that you're going to take away from this? Well, hopefully your main message is that you learned about why, people always tell you to eat your vegetables. Most of us, or most people I've known, it's easier to eat a lot of fruit because fruit is naturally sweeter, but we do know that fruit has a little bit of sugar in it. So vegetables are also really important because they contain those micronutrients and those things that we really, really need to stay healthy. Hopefully you enjoyed the recipe. If you do want the recipe should be attached to this lesson. I hope you guys had fun today. I sure did. I'll see you in lesson 7.